Last call at 4? California could, but far from going home, most are in search of the next party. Everything in LA is, says Daniel Murphy, 36, who works as a waiter. Everybody just nearby. Don Lyon, who works in finance, laments the prospect of going home. I love nightlife. Lyon may soon get his wish if state legislators and the governor see things his way. And you proposed now for the fourth time, you that seeks to give cities across California the option of letting bars shutter at 4 a.m. Nationally, bar closing times are far from uniform, but instead are that varies state by state and often even city by city. While a good number of states urge bars to shut things down around 1 a.m., in New York you're good for that final beer up until 4 a.m., in Alaska, it's 5 a.m., and across Nevada the bar never closes. But for more than a century now in California, 2 a.m. has been last call, and the fight to change that is stirring passionate debate as Senate Bill 58 heads for an assembly vote this summer and potentially the desk of government. Gavin Newsom, the undying nature of this extended last call effort has caused Los Angeles City Councilman Paul Koretz, who is opposed to the idea, to dub it the "because we just can't kill it." Those eyeing the bill carefully include state and local police departments, who may be on the hook for patrolling watering holes into the wee hours, as well as alcohol awareness groups who lament the increased access to drinks. The best shot at a 4 a.m. last call came last fall. A similar effort, Senate Bill 905, needed only then government. Jerry Brown SIG. The arguments for pushing the state's last call hour to 4 a.m. boil down to a mix of economic and prestige factor sauce. Proponents say cities are losing out on valuable tourism and convention dollars by closing early. The reasons to keep the status quo focus on a mix of public health and safety concerns, including warnings about giving patrons even more access to alcohol and predictions of spikes in police and medical personnel overtime as the parties rage later into the night. Those in favor of SB 58, also known as the Let Our Communities Adjust Late Night Act, include its longtime sponsor, State Senior Scott Wiener. One of the things that makes a city great is a vibrant nightlife, says Wiener de San Francisco. It's an important indeed, SB 58 would not make 4 a.m. the new closing time statewide. Instead, those cities are San Francisco, Los Angeles, West Hollywood, Long Beach, Oakland, Sacramento, Palm Springs, Cathedral City, Coachella, and Fresno. Bars in those areas. If SB 58 becomes law with Newsom's signature, it would go into effect on January 1, 2022, and would sunset exactly 5 years later if not extended by the legislature. While the California Highway Patrol does not comment on pending legislation, the CHP would be tasked, if SB 58 passes, to provide lawmakers with a report on the impact of 4 a.m. closing time a few years after it goes into effect. The prospect of having more inebriated drivers on the road concerns Frank Harris, Director of State Government Affairs for MADD, or Mothers Against Drunk Driving. His organization's opposition to the proposed law centers on the fact that because it would not be a statewide mandate, it could create pockets of late-night bars that may cause patrons leaving establishments closing at 2 a.m. to hit the road in search of another drink. We're not a prohibitionist organization, so we have told Senior Wiener that if this, far more concerned is Bruce Lee Livingston, Executive Director of Alcohol Justice, a national alcohol watchdog group. If SB 50, we love the idea of keeping bars open after 2 a.m., but only if they lock up the booze and serve food and help people sober up, he says. Besides, Livingston says he's concerned Newsom's winemaking connections may sway him to sign off on the measure. Richard Zaldivar, co-chairman of the California Alcohol Policy Alliance, a non-profit that monitors alcohol-related practices, says he spoke with the governor at the recent California Democratic Convention. We told him we were no on a 4 a.m. closing, and said he was eager to hear there was opposition, Zaldivar says. The governor's office, of particular concern to Zaldivar, a gay rights activist and founder of the Wall Las Memorias project, which focuses on wellness issues for Latino community members with HIV/AIDS. Is the bill's potential impact on gay community members. Look, I used to party a lot, I enjoyed it, but with the increase in HIV/AIDS, many men practice unsafe sex under the influence, he says. Referring to Weiner finds that observation insulting. That is so condescending. Over at the Abbey, owner and founder David Cooley says extending drinking hours until 4 a.m. is long overdue. I believe times have changed, where people might be a little more open to the idea now, Cooley says. And I think Cooley credits Uber and Lyft with positively influencing the way his friends and customers approach commuting to and from bars and nightclubs. Last year, than any other bar in LA, thanks in part to the city setting up marked pick-up and drop-off zones near his establishment. If SB 58 passes, Cooley says he would have to make adjustments to his staffing schedule, but adds that the additional 2 hours of business would certainly increase revenue for the bar. The same goes for the current rush hour for LA. Buns & Co. Sometimes, since people are drinking, they leave the club and want food at 2 a.m., he says. But we can't serve. Currently, West Hollywood requires that all businesses seeking extended hours apply for a license to do so. It costs $LA. Buns & Co. owner, I think it would be worth it for me to pay that extra money, he says. But not everyone is unreservedly in favor of partying later, even those who brighten at the prospect of doing so. Kendall Consari, 23, spent a recent evening partying with friends at Busby's West, a Santa Monica sports bar. She says staying at it's still a neighborhood, Consari says of Santa Monica. It's cool when your SB 58 could well make Robert Swartz's job a giant headache. He's the head bounce. If the last call bill passes, he says he's not likely to get to bed until 8 a.m. Ultimately, Swartz's sentiments about the proposed nightlife changes encapsulate the ongoing debate over the merits of later bar hours. In my position, it's going to be negative, because if people come out at the same time, they're just going to get drunker and they'll just be drunken morons by 4 a.m., he says. But from a prophet, Della Cava reported from San Francisco, Auber from Santa Monica and West Hollywood. Follow them at Mark. This article originally appeared on USA Today.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.